Hello, my wonderful friends. Today, I'm bringing you an extraordinary story. A story that will inspire you, motivate you, and help you improve your English at the same time. This is the story of a man who started with nothing. A boy who slept hungry on cold London streets. A child who watched his mother lose her mind. But he didn't give up. He fought. He dreamed. And he became the most famous entertainer in the entire world. His name? Charles Spencer Chaplin. But the world knows him simply as Charlie Chaplin. This story has everything: poverty, struggle, rejection, success, and triumph. It's perfect for English learners because you'll hear real-life vocabulary, emotional expressions, and powerful lessons. So grab your notebook, listen carefully, and let me take you on this incredible journey. Are you ready? Let's begin. Charlie Chaplin was born on April 16th, 1889, in London, England. His parents, Hannah and Charles Chaplin Sr., were performers. They sang and acted in small theaters, trying to earn money to survive. But Charlie's childhood was not happy. It was filled with pain. His father was an alcoholic. He drank too much and eventually abandoned the family. Young Charlie never knew what it felt like to have a father's love. His mother, Hannah, tried her best. She raised Charlie and his older half-brother, Sidney, all alone. But money was always a problem. They were extremely poor. Some nights there was no food. Charlie went to bed with an empty stomach. His mother would pretend to eat, giving her small portions to her sons. They moved from one dirty room to another, always fearing eviction. Despite the poverty, Hannah was talented. She performed in theaters, hoping to earn enough to feed her children. Little Charlie would watch her from backstage, mesmerized. He dreamed of one day standing in the spotlight too. One night, disaster struck. While performing, Hannah's voice suddenly failed. She tried to sing, but nothing came out. The audience grew angry. They shouted. They threw things at her. They wanted her off the stage immediately. Then something magical happened. A tiny boy, just 5 years old, walked onto the stage. It was Charlie. He picked up the microphone and started singing. He danced. He made funny faces. The audience roared with laughter. They clapped and cheered. That was Charlie's first performance. That was the moment he discovered his gift, making people laugh. But the happiness didn't last long. After years of poverty and suffering, Hannah's mental health broke down. She couldn't handle the stress anymore. She was taken to a mental asylum. Charlie and Sidney were left completely alone. No parents, no home, no money. They became street children. They wandered the cold streets of London, begging for food, searching through trash cans. Sometimes they slept in workhouses, terrible places where poor people worked in exchange for basic food and shelter. Imagine this: a small, innocent child, cold and hungry, walking through dark streets looking for something to eat. That was Charlie Chaplin. But did he give up? Never. Even in his darkest moments, Charlie held on to one thing: his dream. He wanted to perform. He wanted to make people laugh. He wanted to become someone important, and that dream kept him alive. At just 7 years old, Charlie was sent to a workhouse. It was a cruel, harsh place. He was separated from Sydney and forced to work long hours. When he finally reunited with his mother, she was even sicker than before. Watching his mother being taken away to the asylum was one of the most painful moments of Charlie's life. He cried, he screamed, but he was powerless. Charlie was truly alone now, but inside him burned a fire, a determination to survive and succeed. Charlie knew he had to work. He took any job he could find, washing dishes, delivering newspapers, making toys. But no matter what he did, his heart remained on the stage. One day, he saw street performers entertaining crowds. Something inside him said, "This is it. This is my chance." So Charlie started performing on the streets. He danced, sang, and did small comedy acts. At first, nobody paid attention. People just walked past him. But Charlie didn't stop. He kept practicing. He watched other comedians carefully, studying their movements, their timing, their facial expressions. Slowly, people began to notice. They stopped to watch. They started laughing. And for the first time, Charlie felt something powerful. The joy of making others happy. At age 14, Charlie got his first big opportunity. He was hired by a theatre group called the 8 Lancashire Lads. It wasn't a major role, but it was a start. Charlie worked harder than anyone else. He practiced every single day. He learned every movement, every trick. His natural talent began to shine. A theatre director noticed him and said, "This boy is special. He's different." At 16 years old, Charlie landed a major role in a play called Sherlock Holmes. He was no longer just a street performer. He was now a real actor, performing in front of large audiences. People loved him. Directors saw his incredible talent, his expressions, his timing, his ability to convey emotions without saying a single word. And then, everything changed. In 1910, Charlie received an offer that would change his life forever. He was invited to join Fred Karno's comedy company and perform in the United States, America, the land of dreams, the land of opportunity. Charlie packed his bags and boarded a ship. As he crossed the ocean, he knew, "This is where I belong. This is where I'll become a star." When he arrived in America, everything felt different. The streets were bigger, the energy was electric, and most importantly, Hollywood was there. In 1913, a film studio called Keystone Studios noticed Charlie and gave him a small role in a silent film. Charlie saw this as his big chance. He wanted to create something unique, something unforgettable, so he invented a character, a small man wearing oversized clothes, a tight coat, a tiny mustache, a funny little hat, and walking with the most famous waddle in history, the tramp. At first, people didn't understand the character. But when Charlie performed, when he moved, when he made people laugh without speaking a single word, the world fell in love. His films became incredibly popular. Producers begged him for more. Studios offered him enormous amounts of money. In just a few years, the poor boy from London's streets had become the biggest star in the world. By 1917, Charlie Chaplin wasn't just famous. He was a phenomenon. People lined up for hours just to watch his movies. His face appeared on posters, newspapers, and magazines everywhere. He was loved in every country, in every language, in every culture. Charlie Chaplin had become a global icon. But Charlie wanted more. He didn't just want to act. He wanted complete control. He wanted to create his own stories, direct his own films, compose his own music. In Hollywood, at that time, actors were controlled by big studios. The studios told them what to do, how to act, and what films to make. But Charlie refused. He said, "No one will control me. I will make my own movies my way." In 1918, Charlie did something revolutionary. He built his own studio, Chaplin Studios. Now he was his own boss. He could create whatever he wanted, and nobody could stop him. This was a game changer in Hollywood. Then, in 1921, he released a film called The Kid. It wasn't just a comedy. It was deeply emotional. It told the story of a poor man and an orphan boy, reflecting Charlie's own childhood struggles. People laughed. People cried. The whole world fell in love with the film. Charlie realized something powerful. Movies weren't just entertainment. They could change lives. With each film, Charlie became more powerful and wealthier. While most actors earned $10 per week, Charlie was earning $1 million per movie. He became the richest and most powerful actor in the world. But he never forgot his past. He remembered the days of hunger, the nights on the street, his mother alone in the asylum. That's why he worked so hard. He wanted every film to be perfect. By the late 1920s, Hollywood was changing. A new technology arrived, sound. For the first time, actors could speak in movies. Silent films were dying. Everyone told Charlie, "Forget silent films. Start making talking pictures." But Charlie refused. He believed that emotions are more powerful than words. In 1931, when the world thought silent films were completely dead, Charlie released City Lights. It had no dialogue, but it was one of the most beautiful, emotional films ever made. The final scene, where Charlie's character meets the blind girl, is considered one of the greatest moments in film history. Even today, people call it the greatest silent movie ever made. Charlie proved that emotions speak louder than words. By the late 1930s, Adolf Hitler was rising to power in Germany, spreading hate and fear. Charlie noticed something strange. Hitler had the same mustache as him. People started comparing them. So Charlie made a bold decision. He would use his comedy to fight against Hitler. In 1940, he made The Great Dictator, his first talking film. It wasn't just a comedy. It was a powerful message to the world. In the final scene, Charlie gives one of the most famous speeches in history. "We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. Let us fight for a world of reason. Let us fight for freedom." The world listened. The speech became legendary and is still watched by millions today. Charlie proved he wasn't just a comedian. He was a voice for the people, a fighter for justice. But Hollywood didn't like this. Charlie was too powerful, too independent, and some people didn't agree with his political messages. They turned against him. They accused him of things he never did. They spread lies. Finally, in 1952, they forced him to leave America. Charlie was kicked out of the country he had helped build. Heartbroken, Charlie moved to Switzerland with his family. He stopped making movies and lived a quiet life. But the world never forgot him. Charlie's personal life was complicated. He fell in love easily, and his first 3 marriages ended in pain and drama. People said, Charlie can make the world happy, but he cannot find happiness in love. But then, in 1943, when Charlie was 54 years old, he met Una O'Neill. She was just 18 years old. People criticized the age gap, but Charlie didn't care. For the first time, he had found true love. Una became the most important person in his life. She stood by him when the world turned against him. She was his best friend, his partner, his everything. For 25 years, Charlie lived peacefully in a beautiful house in Switzerland. He spent time writing, reading, playing with his children, and walking in his garden. He would sometimes watch his old movies and laugh. Even though he was far from Hollywood, he was not forgotten. People all over the world still loved him. Then, on December 25th, 1977, Christmas Day, the world woke up to sad news. Charlie Chaplin had died peacefully in his sleep. He was 88 years old. The world went silent. A man who had made billions of people laugh was gone. Every country paid tribute to him. Newspapers wrote, "The world has lost its greatest comedian." But then, something unbelievable happened. 3 months after Charlie's death, a group of thieves broke into his grave. They dug up his coffin and stole Charlie Chaplin's body. Yes, his dead body was kidnapped. The thieves demanded $600,000 from his family. But Una, his wife, refused. She said, Charlie would have laughed at this situation. For weeks, the world was in shock. Where was Charlie Chaplin's body? After a massive police investigation, the thieves were finally caught. They were 2 poor men from Eastern Europe who had stolen the body, hoping to escape poverty. Charlie's body was returned to his family. This time, they buried him in a stronger, cement-covered grave so that no one could ever disturb him again. Even though Charlie Chaplin died in 1977, he is still alive today. Every time we laugh, he's there. Every time we watch a great movie, he's there. Every time someone refuses to give up on their dreams, Charlie's spirit lives on. He taught us that life is not just about money, success, or power. Life is about laughter, love, and never giving up. Charlie Chaplin's life teaches us one powerful truth. Your background doesn't define your future. Your dreams do. He was a homeless boy with nothing, but he became the most loved man in the world. If he can do it, so can you. Dream big, work hard, never give up. And one day, your story will inspire the world. Charlie Chaplin is not just a name. He is an emotion. He is the greatest comedian in history. And his story will inspire generations to come. Remember his most famous words. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Thank you, Charlie. We will never forget you. For English learners, vocabulary, you learned poverty, struggle, perseverance, alcoholic, abandoned, asylum, mesmerized, phenomenon, legendary, eviction, triumph, exile, key phrases, never gave up, fell in love with, turned against him, stood by him. Practice these words and phrases. Use them in your daily English conversations. And remember, learning English through stories is the best way to improve. If you enjoyed this story, share it with your friends. Charlie's message must never be forgotten. Thank you for learning with me today.